KNAC.com. Welcome, Francisco here. I have the privilege of talking to one of my favorite bands that I've been in love with for like a long, long time. I've seen these guys a long time ago. LACUNA COIL from Italy. We got Andrea Ferro and Cristina Scabbia. Thank you for joining us. How are you all
Hi.
doing? You are in the you are about to wrap up your tour now.
Yes, thank you for having us. Yeah, second last gig of this tour that went very well. So getting ready to perform tomorrow, today and tomorrow, and go back to Italy for more.
For more tours.
Well, actually, we have a very special gig on October 15th in our hometown, Milano, dedicated to Comalies. It's going to be called the Comalive, and we will play our record Comalies in its entirely in a different version, though.
Very, very cool. And that's one of the reasons why we're here today. You're going to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Comalies, one of my favorite albums, one of the best, I think, modern goth metal albums. For a band coming out of Italy, like, that is a huge accomplishment. What do you attribute to your success after all these years?
I think there are many reasons. The first reason, though, that I can think of is that we always evolved and we grow up with our own music. We never put boundaries on our compositions. We never closed ourselves in a cliche. We always experimented, and we kept it fresh. Because of this,
I think we always been a band that look forward. We never look back at what we did in the past so much, and we always try to listen to new sounds, new bands, interesting, and getting inspiration from everything, everything that's around us, not just music, but also soundtracks for video games or for music or for movies or for TV shows. Like everything is inspiration for us, inspirational for us, and also listening to younger bands is very important to understand where the music is going. Obviously, we do have our trademark, so we're not gonna imitate a younger band or an older band, but we try to bring this sound, these LACUNA COIL characteristics into 2022, 23, whenever we release the record.
Very cool. As someone who's been largely involved in like the Los Angeles metal scene here, a couple of times involved in the goth metal scene, I've kind of seen it, I would say, become a little bit diluted. In what's your definition of what goth metal should be? I know there's like no boundaries, but what makes LACUNA COIL goth metal, and what do you feel defines goth metal?
Well, first thing first, we don't consider ourselves a goth band only. I mean, goth is definitely one of the influence for us, because we love goth music, but I don't know how to define it, but definitely there has to be some darkness in your music. And of course, I'm talking about the vibe that you get out of the songs. Then I think it really depends how you look at goth, because when I think about come si chiama la band di Tilo? Lacrimosa, for example. Who is a very famous goth band. It's very different from us as music, but we still can be considered in the same path, let's say, of goth.
I think that goth is more about the atmosphere and the attitude of the band towards the music. Like even bands like Korn in some songs, or the Deftones in some songs, are very melancholic, very sad, and the lyrics are very desperate. So that could be considered goth as well, even if it's not strictly a goth metal band, obviously. But it's all about the atmosphere that makes it goth or not just certain cliches or certain chords you can play. I mean, obviously some bands are more classically in the gothic field, some other are just scratching, and I think we are one of those. Like, we do belong to the gothic scene, and we come from that scene, especially gothic metal from the end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000s. But then I think we've been able to incorporate different vibes, different atmospheres in a way that our music has become more modern and not just gothic, although we love the gothic part of the songs as well.
Right. And over the years, like, your sound has just become enormous. Like I was just listening to your recent album that came out 2019, right? And just the sound is just so massive, and it sounds so thick and full, and it's part of, I guess, the progression, right, from like how you sounded from the early days to now, and and also what kind of evolved with you is also your look. You guys have really developed a look over the years, right? What kind of focus did you have to make yourselves, well, more of a visual?
Well, every time you perform, it is not just music, it's also visual. Whoever comes to the show deserves a special treatment because they took the time to come out, to see you. They paid for a ticket and they want to enjoy the performance itself. So we always thought that a cool outfit and a cool scenography can make a show better and can even let you enter even more in your music because it recreates, something very theatrical that goes well with the music itself. It doesn't take anything away, but it adds something to the show.
I agree.
Yeah, I think in the years we've also learned better to develop the whole idea behind the one album. When you have one album where we go together with the stage clothes, with the stage choreography or everything that belongs to the stage, but also the artwork of the album, the photo style of the album, the designer we pick up to design a cover or something like that. So we're trying to, the merchandise, everything goes in the same direction. We developed a sort of a small concept in the beginning of the record. We gave it to Marco, which is our main songwriter, our bass player, and then he designed it. Like sometimes he likes to draw a picture that represents the idea or the title that we gave him for a possible album, and from there we use it as a source of sort of like a totem that gave us a starting point for the inspiration. Try to visualize already the idea behind all the concept that is going to be also partially in the lyrics and in everything else. So it's all a unique piece.
Very cool. And I highly agree that the visual aspects should just be a complement to your already amazing art. The music, I think, definitely comes first, but it shouldn't suffer for the sake of the visual aspect of it. Yeah, very cool. And what led to your decision to it's not even a re-release, but you totally just re-envisioned Comalies. How did this idea come about?
Well, we thought that it was an even better celebration that do just like a remaster or repackaging, because taking a record, deconstruct it and rebuild it as you would have wrote it today, taking advantage of the technology, but keeping the same core, keeping, the same songwriters. We really wanted to see how it could have sound. And we are actually very happy about how it worked out. We are happy about the reactions we're getting from old school fans because everyone loved it.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see the smiles in the crowd because we're playing three or four new songs on this set. We presented some new songs in America for the very first time before they were even out, like Swamped, for example, with a new video.
Right.
And everybody loved them. Because they said like it's still you guys, but with, I don't know, it's just like refreshed, but it's still the same vibe that we felt 20 years ago.
The important message is that this is a celebration of Comalies for the 20 years. It's not like we want to erase what we've done in the past.
No, of course.
It's just how it should have been. It's just a vision of today to celebrate the past. So the package, actually the actual package of the physical, like the vinyl or the CD, will have both versions of the album so people can remember how it was and how it sounds now, So it's just a very fun for us celebration and something more interesting, as Christina said, than just do a remastering that in the end of the day is only make it louder and older album. It's not really giving anything different.
But how long did the re-recording process take?
The recording itself, not so much, few weeks, but writing was very hard because we were touching holy grounds because we knew that it is a very loved record and we liked it as well. So we just wanted to remake everything, with all the respect possible.
Sure.
Trying, to keep his identity and change it, but not changing it in a drastic way. The songwriting, few months. When Marco, our bass player, went by himself in his house in the mountains because he really needed to disconnect from everybody and everything, you know, to focus on the songs. And he was really worried. He was like, I really hope I can, you know, remake it in a way that works as we want.
Probably the most difficult thing was to understand how far you can go with the changes, you know, like how much is enough or how much is too much, you know, because it's a very,
of course,
and you keep changing and then you lose the song at a certain point, you know. So it was important to find a balance between the original version and how much you can rearrange without making it a completely different song, you know? So that was possibly the hardest thing to understand, you know, where to stop, you know?
Sure, of course. And maybe when you were recreating it, maybe there was like some new ideas for some new music, possibly.
We actually wrote a few songs. I mean, it's not that we did it because we didn't have any idea. We have like 5-6 songs that we're working on, but it was not time yet, you know, to release a full record. Also because we really base our inspiration on life, on experiences. And to be honest, we didn't want to write a record about the pandemic.
No,
we wanted to go out again, meet people, live experiences, live life, and get ready to bring everything in our music again. So we collected a ton of material, but
but definitely going back to work on Comalies sometimes bring you also some memories of how your feelings were when you wrote that album, you know, when you recorded the album. And so that could be inspirational also for an eventual next album where we're gonna go work on it. Maybe some of the atmosphere stays with you, you know, because you've been rethinking it and rework it, you know, so they can give you some inspiration also for a future record.
And how much of your set list consists of material from the recent album?
We added 4 songs to this set list that we did for this recent tour.
Then we have like maybe another 5 or 6 from the last album, Black Anima, another 3-4 from Delirium, and then some going back some more, like one from the Carmichael, one from.
Yeah, now we have a few records out, so it's hard to decide a set list that can make everybody happy.
No, of course, and everybody is like, okay, you know, give us another hour, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, but also because of the pandemic, we're kind of restarting the promotion for Black Anima. Also, not restarting, but try to bring in even more, you know.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, how long were you on the promotional bus, so to speak, when the album came out? Were you just starting a tour in the middle, or did you get to complete your cycle?
Well, the album still have to come out.
No,
Black Anima.
It was probably 6 months, I think, into the album because we done.
We did 3 tours.
The 3 tours, like a tour in North America with All That Remains. That was just with the 2 singles out, not the full album. Then it was coming out towards the end of the tour.
Yeah, then Europe with Helvetii, and then South America.
Yeah, that's.
And end of February we came back home, and in March the whole lockdown started.
That's what. Yeah. Okay.
So we had to cancel all the tours that were planned.
Okay. But you did get at least enough of a push for the new album.
Yeah. And then we did the live streaming in 2020.
Right.
We kept ourselves busy anyway.
Sure, of course. As artists, I think we really had to step up our game during this whole situation, and responsibility to ourselves to keep our sanity, and then the responsibility to, you know, your fans, to give them something to just hold on to and keep them alive, like literally. Yeah, was it?
It was an exchange, because for them our music and us were helpful, but for us was the other way around. I mean, they supported, you know, buying merch online, or just like, you know, staying on our socials, writing messages to us, or through different outlets. But it was awesome to not to lose the connection. You know, that's how strong is this bond in between us and our fans.
Sure. And I think that's one thing about LACUNA COIL that I really respect. It just really seems like you do have a connection with fans, and like
you do.
People just really like gravitate towards you. You're real personable and approachable, it seems, and that's I admire that quality, and I think that's, like I said, is why you know, you're such one of the best bands. Like I could still say modern bands. You guys have been around for a good minute, but I still consider you like one of the best like gothic modern metal bands. You know, and
We appreciate it.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
And let me ask you a question, Christina.
Yeah.
As far as like, I know it's kind of a arguably that female fronted bands is always a kind of a hot topic. Metal is metal, I get it, and me myself, I have a high appreciation for female vocalists or bands that are all female as well. What's your stance or what's your point of view as a powerful front woman that is in one of the best bands right now, and a role model for maybe not just girls that who want to be a vocalist or a musician, but like just anybody that looks up to you?
Well, to be honest, I always say that you don't have to think about yourself as a woman in the band. You just have to be proud of who you are, be proud of, yourself being female, being feminine, but you don't have to stress it too much, because if you stress it too much, you go the other way around. I mean, we should be completely equal. Some women have some qualities that sometimes guys can't have. Like in our case, for example, I appreciate the fact that we can interact with Andrea, and I can do more melodic parts, and he can, do something more aggressive. But that's our case. Every person is unique, regardless you're a girl or a guy. It doesn't really matter to me. As long as you love what you do, as long as you have the right attitude, it shouldn't matter that much. I mean, now I'm happy that there are more females in bands. A lot of people don't know how it was 25 years ago, where basically there were no bands. But that is not important. I mean, that is the past. Let's focus on the present, and let's keep on getting more ladies either on records and at the shows. Very cool,
very cool. I highly agree. And you mentioned the dynamic between you and Andrea. Like, it's real unique because you do kind of balance each other out, but at the same time you do a lot of the same things with each other in your vocal styling. How did you come up with this concept to kind of mesh both styles?
I think it's something that we developed with the time as well. When we started, we didn't know also how to make it work fine. We need to practice, to write songs together, understand where it's better to give more space to the female voice, when we can go together, when we can go more of the male voice. So it really depends from song to song, and we have learned it. It's a process that I think we have developed better and better, record after record. Sometimes we just had to try, and see where it was coming better. And I think the good thing about the two voices is that you can really have a certain range of songs. You can really go from really heavy to really epic at the same time in the same song, or even in a couple of different songs. So it gives enough variety to appeal also to a wider crowd, because there's a little bit for everybody in our case.
Now, you guys said that you were about to wrap up this tour, and you have the live stream of Comalies coming up soon. What else is on LACUNA COIL's plate?
Yeah, it's not going to be a live stream. It's going to be a concert in Milano, so it will not be streamed.
Oh, my bad.
But a lot of fans are coming from all over the world to reach us in Milano, which is something that I really appreciate, because last time we made, a celebration was in London, which is easier to reach, but this time we wanted to do it in our home, and there are a lot of people coming, from the States, from Australia, from Chile, from Argentina and all Europe to reach us. So it's something we're very, very happy about.
We got a little bit more touring that we haven't announced yet, but it's going to be announced very soon to complete basically the cycle of Black Anima, with some of the Comalies as well, a celebration of Comalies as well. And then I think probably beginning of next year is our idea to probably start really focusing more on new music, and then consequently
and a little bit more touring and
sure
festivals.
Yeah, the whole couple years of nothingness, like I'm sure you have like a bit to make up for, and you're like everybody, you're eager to get out there and be playing shows again. Like how did it feel when you came back on stage, or you're like in the back room and the crowd's calling your name. Like, did you get chills? Were you nervous?
Well, if for nervous you mean adrenaline, yes, because I mean, as soon as you're close to the stage, you hear, people that is out there waiting for you. It's always very, very exciting. But the biggest change that I noticed after the pandemic is that people don't take things for granted anymore. I see more smiles in the crowd. I see more interactions. And even in places that used to be more, let's say, a little posh, like New York, where people was more quiet, was more spoiled, to say so, is going for it. Like it's going to be their last show. They're really enjoying the moment. And I really, really like that. I've never seen so many smiles as in the last couple of tours we did.
Yeah, and that could very well be the case. I mean, it could be like I always encourage people, go see your favorite bands because you very well don't know. It could be the last show, you know?
Exactly. Enjoy life because you never know what's going to happen, regardless.
Totally, totally. And just real quick, I know you said you guys were busy during the whole lockdown, but how else did you all keep yourselves busy?
Well, I have a lot of other passions related to the nerd world. So I have a Twitch channel. I have my own little merch online store. I enjoy following, the socials and putting together videos. I like to have this sort of duality, of like dark Black Queen on one side and the nerdy goofball on the other side. I guess it's part of, being a Gemini. But I always need something, to entertain myself with.
Sure,
so
sure.
I keep myself busy this way.
Very cool.
I'm more following sports actually. When I'm home, I try to see my friends and watch football games together, soccer.
Soccer? Okay.
Yes, I and spend sometimes with the friends and family, and then I do a lot of the administration of the band, so stay in touch with our booking agent and manager, tour manager. So keeping busy on other side of things that needs to be done, although not super funny to do. But so I like to do that, and then of course enjoying staying home with the family and friends.
Sure, of course. That's another thing, like you said, you learn to reappreciate or appreciate more is time with loved ones, and that's being on the road. I'm sure it's not easy being away from family.
We're kind of used to it. I mean, we learned that it's better to tour wisely instead of like doing months and months and months of tours. It's better, to select more, as I say, more wisely. This way you can focus on better shows and you can have time, to go back home and be with your family and friends. Sometimes, of course, shows are important. Of course, it's very important, to promote and to keep on working, but you don't have to forget your private life because both sides have to fuel the other side. There has to be a balance.
Sure.
If not, you're gonna lose love for your job, and it is very important to keep a balance in between your life and your job because they're both fueling each other. And if you give too much importance to one of the sides, you're gonna lose one of them.
Sure.
So
yeah,
it's important to keep them together wisely.
Yeah. You mentioned you're a Gemini. I'm a Libra, so I know all about balance. I sometimes don't like being a Libra, but hey, you gotta give and take. It's my birthday this coming Sunday too, so I'm gonna be.
Ooh, happy birthday!
Thank you.
And I love your shirt.
Thank you. Yes, I felt proper for the occasion, so I always try and yes, of course. And do you have a few more minutes, or do you have to go?
We will have to go soon, but we have a few more minutes, I guess.
Okay, great.
We'll have to get ready.
Okay, again, we're here with Cristina and Andrea, LACUNA COIL, celebrating the 20th anniversary of what is probably one of, I don't know if you would say it's like one of your best albums, but how did you feel when Comalies came out?
Oof, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I think it was probably, we were conscious that something was happening because we were really happy about the record, how it came out, and we felt for the first time we were more satisfied with the record, and we felt it was a good album all around, but we never expected it to become such an iconic album that's still here after so many years, obviously. So, but definitely I thought we were aware that we reached a good balance of maturity in the sound and balance between our European heritage and the more modern influences. So it was probably a bit more personal than previous records.
Yeah, and I remember that we were going throughout manager changing, and we felt that we were becoming more important as a band. For Century Media, we got more attention, but it was very awkward for us to see this success 2 years after the release of the record, because we played Ozfest 2004.
I'm pretty sure I was there.
And that's where we got a lot of attention,
yes,
because we were very different from the other bands. We had, a very distinctive sound. And that's where it all started to level up for us.
mm-hmm.
So it is a very important record for our career. And,
and
we know that.
And I think I saw on one of the notes that you were actually one of the first female bands to headline Ozfest, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we didn't headline, but when we did Ozfest 2004, I was probably there were two ladies on the second stage, but I was the first one to be on the main stage in 2006.
Very cool, very cool. And again, you guys are about to wrap up your tour. I'm glad that it went well, and of course, safe travels.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure, like when you come back through Los Angeles, everybody will be patiently waiting for your return. And
we can't wait.
Yes, and any last words for your fans, new and old, that are looking to support you?
Well, of course, we want to thank everybody for the support. Any fan, old school fans, new fans are highly encouraged to hear our music, because sometimes it happens that you hear a name of a band and you think they're going to sound like that, but maybe, really listening to music might change your mind. So please try to listen to some Lacuna Coil if you didn't, and if you're supporting us, thank you so very much.
And we'll see you on the road, so stay tuned on lacunacoil.com.
LacunaCoil.com, and I'll make sure I put that information in the descriptions below. Andrea Ferro, Cristina Scabbia, a pleasure. You guys give horns and fist bumps to the Lacuna Coil camp and everybody. And again, we'll see you soon. And cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Ciao, ciao. Bye.
Bye.